And good morning and welcome to this edition of the Iowa Storm Chasing Network YouTube Live as we are going to talk about the potential for strong to severe weather over the weekend. As you can see, the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal risk of severe weather from I-35 and points eastward with a slight risk of severe weather back near the I-29 corridor. We'll be looking for the potential for large hail and damaging winds as the primary threats, and then we'll be looking at for the potential for a isolated tornado threat as well. That looks to be mainly confined to northeast Nebraska and then maybe even parts of northwest Iowa. As we go ahead and show you the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook here, you can see we do have that 5% tornado probability. That does include Sioux Falls and portions of southeast South Dakota, back into portions of far northwest Iowa, and then as we talked about, back into northeast Nebraska there. We'll be looking at for that potential for that isolated tornado threat as well. Looking back at the hail threat, we can see primarily along western Iowa, we'll be looking for some large hail and then also some of those damaging winds. So once again, that slight risk of severe weather being confined mainly to the I-29 corridor. Then as we move off to the east on Sunday, we'll be looking for that threat of severe weather from Des Moines Metro and point eastward. So we'll be looking for once again, large hail and damaging winds as the primary threat. Then we'll be looking for even the potential for some funnel clouds and a brief tornado. Once again, that threat will be on the lower end of things, but we'll have to keep a very close eye on it for those folks across this portion of eastern Nebraska. So zooming in a little bit closer from Cedar Rapids back to Iowa City, Grinnell, Oskaloosa, Ottumwa, Burlington, down to Keokuk and Davenport and Clinton. We'll be looking for the potential for, once again, I think some brief funnel clouds and even maybe brief tornado as well. So something to keep an eye on by Sunday afternoon in this area of southeastern Iowa. So once again, there will be that potential for a marginal risk. Let's go ahead and show you the latest guidance here on what we'll expect throughout the day. So today will remain dry. I think by later afternoon, we're talking primarily around 5 o'clock and thereafter, closer to about 6, 7 p.m. I think we'll watch for those thunderstorms to begin to develop across northeast Nebraska, back into northwest Iowa and southeast South Dakota. This is by 7 p.m. You can see those storms across that area. By 8 p.m., they begin to merge more into a line, which will obviously transition that more over into a damaging wind threat. And then that begins to look like it will come down the I-29 corridor, moving through the Omaha metro, I think closer to about 9, 10 p.m. this evening. But it does look like those storms will sort of weaken and lose their intensity as we head throughout the overnight hours. And then we'll be watching during the day on Sunday for those additional storms to develop. So this is by tomorrow morning. This is about 8 o'clock Sunday morning. You can see those showers and thunderstorms continuing out there across the state, and they will continue to spin. If you notice how they're spinning around this upper level low there that will continue to slowly move off to the east. I've stopped this here about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, as if you notice across eastern Iowa, that sort of arc of thunderstorms extending from southern Iowa back up through central Iowa there. I think this is when we'll start to watch for those potential funnel clouds and maybe even brief tornado threat to develop as early afternoon across eastern Iowa, pushing off to the east. But once again, that low will continue to spin those thunderstorms through this portion of the state. This is by 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, and then by 7 p.m. you can see that's where we're still expecting those showers and thunderstorms across the eastern portion of the state, back up through central Iowa. Very scattered in nature, but Sunday will be a cloudy and rainy day out there. So if you have any plans on Sunday, unfortunately, you're going to have those showers and thunderstorm activity to contend with. But then by 7, 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday, we'll begin to clear things out. I think we'll set up for a much better Monday with the next chance of rain coming on middle of the week. So once again, there will be a marginal risk of severe weather across the eastern portion of the state, mainly southeastern Iowa, during the afternoon hours on Sunday. Large hail damaging winds, and even once again a funnel cloud / tornado threat. So once again, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then if you're watching for today, we will have that potential across western Iowa, primarily far western Iowa will have the greatest significant severe weather threat with that slight risk of severe weather. But we're watching from basically Sioux Falls down through Sioux City and down to Omaha. But as we go off to our folks down into Kansas, we do have an enhanced risk down here So some more intense severe storms expected down from southern Kansas and the northern Oklahoma up through Colorado. So definitely going to be an active severe weather day out there across a large portion of the country. But back here in Iowa and Nebraska, for those folks watching us here, definitely going to have to keep an eye on those storms across northeastern Nebraska, back into northwest Iowa, and even portions of southeast South Dakota, as we'll be watching once again for large hail damaging winds and even a tornado threat. So switching back over to that tornado threat, we do have that 5% tornado probability extending from I-90 back in South Dakota, traveling down I-29, hitting Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and even portions of the northwestern Omaha metro. So have to keep an eye on that. Once again, primary time frame would be appearing to be closer to 5 p.m. and thereafter. I think from 5 to 9 p.m. would be the greatest significant severe weather threat across this portion of Nebraska into northwest Iowa. So we'll keep you updated throughout the day. If you haven't followed us on other social channels, be sure to head on over to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our Twitter account. Popping those back up here on the screen for you now. You can find those on the bottom. If you also want to make any contribution towards our mission, you can also donate through Venmo at ISCN Weather. We appreciate all donations as they help continue to provide for you guys like things like the weather app and our website. So once again, appreciate everyone watching this morning. Just wanted to do a new thing here on YouTube to see if we can continue to expand our reach. Some people don't have Facebook, so we're primarily over on Facebook. We also update Twitter quite frequently as well. So just trying to make sure we can hit as many people as possible, as social channels differ from one person to another. So want to make sure we can hit everyone in a meaningful way. So once again, to recap, there will be the potential for a few strong severe storms this afternoon, late afternoon into the evening time frame, primarily across far western Iowa. And then we'll be watching for that threat to then shift off to the east on Sunday, primarily from central Iowa back into eastern Iowa with that marginal risk. Thank you for watching this morning. We'll be here throughout the day keeping you updated, so be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and here on YouTube for the latest severe weather updates. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.